What's up, everybody? It's me, it's AlexisMaurice, and my co-host, Mr.
Trei Hollywood.
Tonight, we are talking about Monique, child. She is back in the news again, and she got a lot of shit to say. She's going down to Uncle Shannon Sharpe's show, Club Shay Shay, to talk about all things.
All things, everything.
Honey, child, Drake Wee Wee has broken the internet. You hear me? So we're going to talk about the Wee Wee and if you're impressed or not. We're going to talk about Kandi has announced that she's leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine, pull up a chair, because it is time for the wine up. Now, before we take our first tip, I want you to go ahead and like this video on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when new videos are uploaded. Yes. Please make sure that you share this video on all of your social media platforms.
Right.
And last but not least, while we're talking, while we're winding things up, make sure that you comment below and let us know what you're thinking. Not just on YouTube.
My DMs. Right. Not just on my DMs.
Right, Trey. You know what? Y'all have really gotten on my damn nerves now. Now, we put up a video and y'all be all in our text messages, y'all be all in our inbox DMs, but we need y'all to comment on the videos to increase the engagement. It ain't doing me no good that you talking to me in the box. I need you to talk to me on the video.
Right.
Now, Trey, what are you sipping on tonight?
I'm actually having some tequila. I know today, we got some tacos today, so I make some tequila.
What is that? Tequila mixed with what? Tequila Blanco or Tequila Reposado?
Reposado. I'm sorry, Reposado.
You mix that with a juice?
Yes.
Ugh.
It's good. You want some?
No, I don't want that shit. But someone who's drinking a lot is Monique. Monique done gone down to Club Shay Shay.
Yes.
And Monique has a lot of things to get off of her chest. From her beef with D.L. Hughley, to the stuff that's going on with her and Kevin Hart, to her weighing in on Taraji P. Henson crying about the disparities in pay in Hollywood. She had a little word for Shaq as well too. So let's unpack this just a little bit. Shaq recently made headlines saying that men shouldn't open up to women because women can then weaponize it and use it against them later on down the road.
You open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Your whole life.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Oh, no.
If they gonna tell you, you can.
Because you know why?
But it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped like a motherfucker.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're going to throw it back in your face.
Well, that's
why.
That's real.
That's why. So you can't ever.
That's why you crackers, your dad left.
Yeah.
Monique basically told Shaq, you ain't got no woman, so you don't need to open up your mouth.
How do you take advice from a man who has no woman? And I love Shaq. But how do you take advice from my brother that has no one? If you have that person in your life and you say, listen, I'm going through. Who else do you talk to at nighttime in your pillow talk? Who else do you share your life with? Who are you sharing with your life with, Shaq? You tell another man about your situation, and does he make you feel better? Like, who do you share your life with? So I don't agree with that at all. And
I think I understand what Shaq is saying, because when you allow people to receive certain information about you,
information that makes you vulnerable.
Yes, they're going to use that against you, whether in whichever way and aspect you put it. So I understand where he's coming from when he says that.
I have seen sometimes women weaponize when men are vulnerable with them about certain things, and they kind of throw it up in their face. Oh, see, you ain't man enough. I think that's why in our community sometimes there's these toxic masculinity, these toxic gender roles, especially with black men. They feel like they have to hold everything in. I have to suffer in silence. I can't be weak. I have to be and appear strong at all times. So instead of talking to their partner, talking to your wife or your girlfriend, or even seeking a therapist, sometimes black men just tend to hold things in. I've seen that even with my father. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen that with your dad, brothers, or whomever at certain point in times. I kind of happen to agree with Monique on this. I think we've done it this way for such a long time and it hasn't been successful. So it's time for us to try things just a little bit different.
Like, my father always taught me it's okay to express your feelings, and that's what y'all probably would always say I'm
sensitive. Ooh, child, because you're so sensitive. Your daddy must do that over and over never again.
Whatever. I think the first time I actually ever seen my father cry was when we found out about the diagnosis of my stepmom. And I remember him actually hugging me and it's literally in my chest. And it's so hard because for so long we said a black man not supposed to cry. He's supposed to be strong for our family. But it's okay to be that vulnerable.
I hear where you come from, but I think we are accustomed to it and we're expected to be that way. And I don't think it's been working out that good for us. Women, if your man is vulnerable with you, it's not that he's a weak man, it's not that he's a pussy. You know, if he is opening up to you, receive it. You say you want these things, and then when men do it, then you want to call them pussies and throw it against them. You can't have it both ways.
Well, Mary J. Blige once said, bad boys are fun and good boys ain't no good, or bad boys ain't no good. Some shit like that. They don't be wanting good guys. They don't want guys to be able to express themselves. They want somebody who bad and who gon' wonder where the hell you at.
Listen, bitches want the niggas that's just gonna pop the pussy, heat it up real good, and then send them on their way, treat them like trash and treat them like dirt at all times.
But the one who want to take them out to eat, take them on a trip, take them out to San Diego, they don't want
that sounds a little personal. That sounds a little personal, Trey.
I'm just saying.
Come on, you and your light skin feelings, reel that on back in.
I was
put a little bit more melanin in your skin.
I was calling somebody out. That's all.
Another person that Monique had a lot to say about, now this I thought was interesting, Kevin Hart. She basically said that Kevin Hart heard about all of the beef that was going on between her and Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and all that good stuff. He got involved. He reached out to Tyler Perry to try to come to the table and, mend fences between the two of them. Tyler Perry said that he didn't want to revisit this anymore because they had already revisited. Kevin Hart then came back to Monique and basically said that Tyler doesn't want to revisit it, but I got you. Whatever you need, any projects, if we can work on together. He told her, I look at you like a mother, auntie, or something like that. I want to see you win. When it was time to put the foot to the metal, honey, Kevin Hart and his people basically said that they weren't going to be involved, but they don't want to be associated with Monique at all. Now, Monique did tell us that Kevin Hart did help her and her family out before financially, but she paid him back with interest. Like him saying that, I'm gonna look out for you because he's a gatekeeper, yada, yada, yada. Come to find out, he ain't want nothing to do with her. She called him and she confronted him about it. Well, your management is telling me you don't want, it's a misunderstanding. She said she ain't heard from Kevin Hart in 2 years since then, child. So that was another gripe that she was actually talking about. What do you have to say about that, Trey?
Monique is just a bitter black puppet. I told you that before.
A puppet?
She's a puppet of her husband. Now, she's intelligent. You take that from her. She's very vocal. She knows how to express herself. But I'm a firm believer of a person who burned bridges or put a bad taste in your mouth about the situation. Kevin Hart may have been, you know what, I'm going to be there for you, sister. I'm going to help you out. And all this other stuff start trickling down. And I got to protect my own family. I got to make sure I'm good over here on this block. And that might be where Kevin Hart is coming about. See, my problem with Monique is that she just wants to bring everybody down when I did her wrong and not even explain what may have happened in that process.
Well, I think on this particular episode of Club Shay Shay, she's explaining what are the issues that she's having with different people.
No, Shannon Sharpe, I need you to stop bringing comedians on your fucking show because right now, Red Fox, Bernie Mac,
they dead, Trey.
I know, and this is where I'm going with this. They're rolling in their grave right now because they are happy about all these comedians. We in the second month of the year. We're supposed to leave that shit in January. Okay. And here we are in February and we still got this shit going on with these comedians.
Listen, I don't think the issue is necessarily with the comedians. I think the issue is the politics in the industry is the problem, Trey. I will admit, I was one of those ones in the beginning that was like, okay, Monique, girl, here you come crying again. You complaining about this. You complaining about this. This person did you wrong. This person did you wrong. When I actually sit down and listen to her,
it's because she's smart. You're falling for her words because she's smart and articulate.
No, I'm not falling for her words. I'm not falling because she's articulate. I'm actually believing her and listening to her because she is what she called her and Cat Williams and all these other people. They're truth tellers, Trey. And I think Monique is looking out for our community. I really
baby, no. My sweet baby. My sweet baby. No. Monique is looking out for Monique. Okay, Monique.
I don't think so. Every time something comes out, oh, Monique was right. Here we go. We're talking about Taraji. Years ago, Monique mentioned this whole thing about the disparities in pay when it comes to black women and black actresses in Hollywood.
How she made that about her? Listen to how she made it about her.
Well, yeah, we know. Making about her because we know
you spoke about it. We know you experienced it, and so many other black women that experienced it in Hollywood. But you gonna make Taraji's situation and what she currently expressing about what you expressed 10 years ago.
Well, yes. this. Okay, I said the same thing and I was demonized. Y'all called me all kind of this. You called me that. You blackballed me because
it's the way you do it.
Or I was sharing my experiences. And she said that was one of the reasons why she felt like people, kind of single her out in a blackball, because she was the messenger. As she said, I'm a big black woman. I need to sit in my place and I should be grateful and thankful for where I am. But the fact that she also called names. She called names like Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. I don't like to see this infighting within our community, but these are valid points that Monique actually makes sometimes.
We were always taught it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
And then her delivery of her message is completely different from Taraji's message. And how
why? Because Taraji was crying?
No, because Monique was a puppet to her husband. That's why.
Listen, and she brought this point up too, and I'm glad that she brought it up because I was like, you know what? She's right. Stop calling her husband a puppet or saying that her husband is bad for her, because it's amazing that this black woman has her black king, her black husband, standing up for her and fighting for her. How many people in our community don't have that? We just talked about being vulnerable, men being vulnerable with their women. We always talk about how black women are the most unprotected women, of course, in the world. Why, when this woman has a king standing up for her, it's now a problem?
It's not that it's a problem that her husband is standing up for her. It's the way it's done. It's always I don't care. You're never going to sell me on the fact of how they do it or what they're doing. It's right. I'm not going to be on their side. Y'all can drag me. Y'all can hate me. But I am not a fan of Monique and her husband's actions. Right. Because she sits there on that couch or that chair, and he sits right here behind her or next to her, and he just instigates every situation that she talks about. I believe that if her husband wasn't involved in the conversation, I probably would be, Monique, okay, I understand. But I think it's the way that her puppeteer do it. Did you see what she said about Tiffany?
I did not see what she said about Tiffany Haddish. What happened with Tiffany?
She basically was speaking on how Tiffany had did an interview some time ago and had basically said that she doesn't work or operate the way Monique does, and she's glad that she doesn't have a husband like Monique. And Monique was saying, well, if you had a husband, maybe you wouldn't, have a DUI. If you had a husband, if you had a husband, maybe you wouldn't be like accused of possibly, what you did with them kids. And then Shannon Sharpe gonna say, yeah, because she ain't got no husband. And then Monique was like, you said it, Shannon. I mean, she's always pre-told.
But wait a minute, it sounds like Tiffany,
we need to do this.
Tiffany kind of shaded her first when she, said that. Well, I'm glad I ain't got no husband like that. What's wrong with having a husband that's different? Now, I understand what you're saying, that maybe he wants to be in the spotlight too much too.
He wants to peach.
Monique she's the actress.
He's the
comedian. I have heard things from an industry perspective. They said that he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to negotiate things.
No.
There's a lot of behind the scenes rumblings about him overall as well too. But I do solely really believe that Monique is really fighting for us. And a lot of the stuff that she says ends up coming true, Trey.
Okay.
What do you think needs to happen with Monique? How do we repair her relationship with some of the gatekeepers in our community in Hollywood? Should she just shut up and stop talking, or what? What do you think needs to happen?
See, I'm a firm believer communication is one of the keys to success. And so if you are hurt and bothered by all these individuals, have your husband call these people and arrange a meeting, have conversations, communicate. When you and I, we had some disagreements about stuff, I call you, tell you, vice versa. And I feel like that's important rather than going on social media and sitting down and recording on Instagram.
But if the people aren't willing to come to the table, what are you to do?
Then what are you getting on social media gonna do?
Telling the truth, calling out people.
It ain't working.
Monique said that these people.
Maybe you're not gonna pull down Oprah. You're not gonna pull down Tyler Perry.
She said that they got character flaws. They have serious character flaws.
We all have character flaws. We're all not perfect. She's not perfect. Where's her flaw at? Obviously communication, because she ain't reaching out to talk to these people.
She has
if she tells us
these people.
And hasn't she not had a conversation with Tyler, like she said? Supposedly she got recording of Tyler saying he lied, which, like Shannon Sharpe pointed out, that's illegal, but she said it's not in the state they live in. Now it makes people think like, damn, I can't have a conversation with Monique because she can record me. Why is she recording Tyler Perry?
Because people lie. Niggas be lying. And you need to record sometimes. We just gonna have to agree to disagree on this.
Yeah, and I'm just start recording everybody.
Child, don't be like Mitch the Bitch. He used to love to try to record us. That's part of the problem with him and Gallo. But anyway, moving along, child, Drake Wee Wee is in the news, honey.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Well, let me tell you this. Honestly, I don't think it's him.
Why not?
Because, so often us lighter skinned men can look alike, right? And with facial hair, you don't see his face in the video. He's literally like a light skinned man with facial hair. You don't see any tattoos or anything that's, prominent that tells you that it is him. I don't think it's him.
Well, I saw the video, and child, Drake is taking that thing and swinging it like a helicopter. Going around and 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 around.
Shut up, Maurice. We get it. And around. It ain't that big. Calm down.
Were you impressed though?
No.
Well, I was. I was a little impressed if it is truly him. Because, some of y'all light-skinned boys, y'all don't have a lot of, plant in the eggplant. Some of y'all don't have a lot of egg in the eggplant. Some of y'all don't have a lot of stuffing in your turkey, okay? Some of
Because of our complexion?
Well, it's no secret that most darker skinned men that have a little bit more melanin in our system, we tend to hang low. Sweet chariot, our balls hang down to the ground, and, we can, smack a bitch on the face. It's just a known fact.
Wow. Okay.
There are some exceptions to the rule.
I wonder why. That's a known fact. That's crazy to me. Is it
Black men, darker skinned men, we tend to draw our power from the sun. So when we're outside in the sunlight, we get stronger, and we get stronger, and so therefore, back in back in the slavery days, we was out in the field, and all of that work we did, it tended to go to our dick. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I was thoroughly impressed by Drake's Wee Wee. If it is him, some people were saying that it's giving DDL. Women get BBLs, butt implants. Some people said it's giving DDL. I don't know, but Drake.
Aubrey Graham in a wheelchair. Drake.
Yes.
Drake. Aubrey.
Okay, girl, I see you. I'm gonna land that helicopter in this helicopter pad over here, honey.
Who do you think leaked it, if it is him?
Well, it's interesting because he's laying in the bed and he's slinging that thing like a helicopter.
Yeah, we got
or
to
whatever.
That, right. Mm-hmm.
And then somebody is just kind of sitting there looking at him.
What, didn't he have the phone in his hand?
Well, so maybe that's what it was. So he was at pointing at a mirror. You so smart, Trey. You are so smart.
I don't think it's him.
Well, has he denied it yet?
No, but he did.
Another thing that surprised us is Kandi Burruss. Kandi Burruss, on the red carpet of the Grammys, announced that she is leaving the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She will not be returning for the Sweet 16 season of the Atlanta Housewives. Now, I will admit, Trey, when I heard this, I was floored because Kandi has been there for 14 years, 14 seasons. She was the longest running housewives, if I'm not mistaken, across all of the franchises. So for this staple, this sweet peach to leave us, I was kind of like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But at the same time, I was kind of like, yeah, it's probably time for Kandi to leave. I've been saying for the past 2 or 3 years, okay, Kandi should do one more year and then she should leave. Do one more year, Kandi, and then she should leave. Do one more year, she leave. But now she's leaving.
And she's leaving now.
One of the reasons she said that she's leaving is because the cast, what's happening with them has just been kind of up in limbo. Bravo has been testing new housewives, trying to figure out if they wanted to take the whole reboot route that they did for New York City, or if they were going to keep the existing cast or maybe make some changes. Kandi is a boss. She's an actress, and she basically said she ended up with too much time on her hands. She started making these commitments, and she just doesn't have the time to film anymore. Trey, what's your reaction to Kandi leaving?
I'm not really happy about it because I feel like even though people would say that she was boring, she still brought things to the show. If you think about it, last season, most of the shit was about her, like stuff she had going on with Marlo. She got disagreements with Sheree, the homegirl who tried to pop off at the whole party.
Courtney.
Yeah, Kandi brings stuff to the show, and then she's booked and busy, and she still is involved. off. I don't know. I just feel like I hope that is not for good.
She did
No,
say
take-
that, she's going to continue working with Bravo. She's not going to say she's never, ever going to come back.
Right.
I kind of feel that now that she's gone, she doesn't need to come back. Kandi doesn't really need Atlanta Housewives anymore. In the beginning, when you think about it, she came to the Housewives franchise and she was sort of kind of the first really known Housewives to already have an existing, brand and career and stuff like that.
Right.
She's lasted all of these years. Kandi has delivered some hella storylines for a number of years for us. She introduced us to the OLG. That time, Mama Joyce wanted to fight Karma when it was getting dressed.
Right.
She lost her fiance, on the show. She found her husband on the show, had kids, shared infertility issues, opened several businesses. She's done a lot.
She's a boss. She's worldwide. Now, hear me out. So now that, we're talking about Kenya and her leaving, of course, it's going to open up the door for some other girls. Portia and Kenya are going to be returning. Remember this nice young lady that was once upon a time on the show that I think that they should bring over to the Housewives of Atlanta?
Okay.
And her name is Miss Qua.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel that Miss Qua, because remember, her and Kenya had a little rift. And I feel like they bring Portia and Kenya back. If they're going to be friends or be cool, that's going to be a little boring. So they need somebody that can be competitive with Kenya. I think Qua would be good.
See, that's the problem. You are casting a show based on drama.
But we need that.
Yeah,
we do need that.
But let it happen organically. Just like Gallo said when we were talking about Salt Lake City, Housewives is about wealth, glitz, glamour, and friendships, bickering over small little things. Atlanta Housewives, like Beverly Hills, had gotten really dark at one particular point in time. And I think we need to get back to things just being a little bit more fun and loving and a little bit of drama, a little bit of shade here, a little bit of shade there. Quad doesn't have anything to bring to this show, Trey. I'm sorry. She doesn't have anything to add to the show. So I'm good with her.
Phaedra's on Married to Medicine. She ain't married or medicine.
And Quad ain't married either. So what I think should happen is...
And neither is Kenya.
Kenya, Portia.
Neither is Sheree.
You got...
Neither is Drew.
This is the thing. They're grandfather and Trey. When you're grandfather and, even if they were married when they first came on the show or in a relationship, if they not, they can still come back.
Quiet is grandfather into Bravo.
Kenya, Portia, they need to go ahead and bring Phaedra on back to the Housewives now. Because it's always been said that the reason she hasn't been on is because Kandi refused or didn't want to film with her. Now that Candy's gone, bring Phaedra on back. She did good, the stunt casting or whatever they did with her over at Married to Medicine. It was cute while it lasted. It was a gateway for her to get back on our TVs. She's back now, so come back home, girl. She don't fit in with them, Trey. I just think she doesn't fit in with them very well. Post Sheree, it's looking like she gonna got fired.
Again. And she needs to be. Because nobody's buying the she. Nobody gives a fuck about he, who she's fucking. We need to go ahead and make sure we bring Drew back. Drew has to come back. Drew gave us a great growth in her being a housewife. And she's now divorced. We need to bring Drew back.
Bring Marlo back as a friend. 2 or 3 new housewives.
What about Moyetta?
No,
Moyetta.
I'm good. I'm good on Moyetta. We don't need her. Candy's gone too. Bye. That's all. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of The Wind Up. Again, make sure that you like this video. Please make sure that you share on all of your social media platforms. Comment below, let us know what you're thinking, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you guys next time. Remember, tell yourself I am good enough.